which is a CB number problem. It is a problem from hacker blocks. So what do this problem says is there is a new kind of number which is called as a coding blocks number. This number, any number can be a CB number, or you can say any number can be defined as a CB number if it follows these three conditions. So what do these three conditions says? That 0 and 1 can never be a CB number. Okay, 0 and 1 can never be a CB number. And what do the second point says is any number from these numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23 and 29, out of these number any number can be a CB number. Okay, what the third point says is any number not divisible by the number in the point 2 given above or also CB number. So let's say we have a number 61. Okay, if 61 is not divisible by any number in this list, let's say 61 is not divisible by 2, 61 is not divisible by 3, 61 is not divisible by 5, 61 is not divisible by 7, 61 is not divisible by 11, and we will check for the others number also. If 61 is not divisible by any of the numbers which are present in the list 2, then we can say that 61 is also a CB number, right? So these are the three criterias which a CB number must follow. So this was the definition for a CB number. Now let's see what does the problem say, what we have to code about in this problem. One more thing is there in this question, that we will be given a string. Okay, string of digits. We will be given a string of digits. Okay, we will be given a string of digits. Let's say 4991 is given. Okay, 4991 is given, and in this number we can see that if we will code, and we will see later that 499 and 911 both are CB numbers. But the problem says is that we can take only one CB number among 499 and 991. So how will we check that which CB number we will have to take and which will not? So the problem is simple, and why we are comparing these as you can see 499 and 991, there double nine is a substring in this number and also a substring in this number. So substring of one number should not be the substring of another number. This is what we have to check. If we have already counted a substring for 99 in this number, then we will not count it for this number, right? So this is what the point says. Now let's see one example, right? One second. Let's see some input format and all, right? Okay, so let me rub this. Okay, in this example we have given we will have to take two inputs. This is n and this is our string. Okay, n defines the length of the string. Okay, so we have been given 81615. Okay, so in this number we have to output how many maximum number of CB numbers that can be formed. Okay, so we will have to generate all CB numbers. Okay, and then we have to count that how many CB numbers can be generated from the given string, and we have to output the count. Okay, So how will we check how many CB numbers we can generate is, first of all we will be needing to generate the substrings. Okay, first of all we will be needing to generate substrings. Okay, after generating the substring we will have two functions, right? uh, One function will be check CB and another function will be is valid. So what do these functions will do is, check CB will check the given substring, that if the given substring is a valid CB number or not, and if it is valid CB number we will check that it is a is it valid or not. By this I mean to say that we will generate an array of boolean type visited. Okay, and by default we will make all the entries as false. Okay, by making all the entries false we will make assure that we haven't visited any of the CB numbers yet. So for example let's see 61, right? 61, 61 is a CB number in this case. Okay, so let's positionize them 0 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, so 61 lies on the position 2 and 3. So when we will check for CB number, after we will go to is valid function. The function will iterate over this array and check for the given positions 2 and 3, 2 to 3. It will check for 2 to 3. Okay, that the values in the visited array are false or true. If the values at position 2 and 3 in the visited array will be true, then the function will return us false. And if the values for is valid array on the position 2 and 3 will be false, then it will return us true. Okay, so is valid function will basically make us assure that out of 499 and 991 we have seen in another problem. Okay, we only count 499 once and we don't count for the 991 twice, because 99 is already a substring in 499, so we shall not count it twice. This is what the problem says. Okay, so I hope you are clear with what we are going to do in the code, and you are confident enough to code now. So let's see how are we going to so guys, before going into the code, let's be familiar with some STL functions in C++, right? So the first function which will be used in our code is an STL function called substr. So this function take two inputs, one is position and one is length. Okay, so what do this function do is, let's say we have defined in string a as Sagar, right? And we want to define another string b which is a substring of this string starting from position 0, and okay, and the length of that substring is 3. Okay, so how can we generate a substring of such kind whose position start from 0 in this string and is of length 3, right? So how can we generate that is, we can say a dot substring function, then we will pass two inputs for position as 0 and as length 3. Okay, so we'll pass 0 and 3. So what will this do is, it will generate a substring from a starting from position 0. This is 0 1 2 3 4. So it will generate an substring starting from position 0 till length 3. So this is length 1 2 and 3. So what will be an substring stored in B is SAG, right? So this is what our substring function do is it take two inputs, position and length. So this was the first function which will be used by us in our code. And another STL function is S2LL. So let me rub this before explaining that, right? So another function which will be used by us is S2LL, right? So what do this function do is it converts string to long, right? So this functions convert a string data type into a long data type. Why will we be using this function is because we have seen that in for checking CB, let's say the input we have, let's say input is 54991, right? So this is our value of n and this is our string, right? When will we when we will be passing this string into our CB check function, right? uh, in CB check function we will have to check our passed substring. We will generate substring using substr function, right? Let's say it is stored in A, and we will pass our string A in CB check function. So in CB check function we have to do three things, right? First we have to check that the pass substring is 0 or 1. If it is 0 or 1 we have to return false. We have seen this. And we will create another array for the numbers uh, 2 3 5 7 11, right? Which are already a CB number. And the third point, we have to check that if the passed substring is divisible by any of the number in this array, right? Then it is not a CB number. And if it is not divisible by any of the number in this substring on this array, then the number is a CB number, right? So for doing all these three things we have to check it for numbers which are of integer data type, right? So for doing that thing purposely or conveniently, we have to convert the data type from string to int, right? So for doing this we are using this string to long function. Why are we converting it to long is because string can be a long, which can be of very long, which is out of the scope for normal int data type. So we are converting it into long, right? So now let's go to code and check. Let's go to here. Let's delete this and rewrite the code, right? Okay, so first of all let's write some boilerplate code. And now our input is first we have to take an integer n, then we have to take input in string. Let's say the string is s, and we also have to generate an array bool visited. Let's say the size of this array is 100, right? and we have to make all the values in this array as false, right? Okay, so we will store our answer in variable called count, and we will initialize it with 0, right? Now we will have to write two loops, sorry. uh, so we will write this loop for our function. uh, Let me show you. The first STL function we saw was sub str, right? uh, Sub str. 1 minute. So the first STL function we saw was sub str. It took two inputs, one was position and another was length, right? So we have to suppose our string is 1 2 3 4. The subarrays we can generate can be of two types. One can be based upon their one can be of type like this: 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, right? Then we will have 2 2 3 2 3 4, then we will have so on, right? So these are the subarrays we can generate normally. We can, for generating these kind of subarrays. 1 minute, let me erase this. For generating these subarrays, we have to write loop for int I is equals to 0 till I is less than the length of the string s dot len, right? And then we have to write another loop for int j is equals to 0, or j is equals to, sorry, I. Let me erase this too. J we initialized our variable int j is equals to I, and then we will iterate it to j is less than s dot len, right? So this will these two loops will generate us the arrays of these kind, but we don't need these kinds of sub arrays. Why? Because let's say in example, let's say 1 2 3 4, right? 1 2 3 4 is in sub array, right? And this is also in CB numbers, suppose. Okay, let's suppose 1 2 3 4 is in CB number. Now in the first kind, I have said that we will generate two functions. One is CB check and one is valid, right? If we will check into the CB check function, we will pass this substring, it will return us true. And if we haven't counted 1 1 1 2 1 2 3 and 1 2 3 4 as our CB numbers, okay, then all the positions from 0 1 2 3 4 in our visited array will be false, right? Then we will write is valid function, it will check for position 0 to 4 and it will return us true. Now both the conditions becomes true, and then we will update our is valid function from start to end, which is 0 to 4, okay, 0 to 3, say. Sorry, start till end, and we will update this from position 0 to 3 and our visited array as true. Now if this is our complete string, right? 1 2 3 4 is a complete string. Now all the positions from 0 to 4 in our visited array has been updated to true. Now for any other subarray, if it is a CB number, when CB check will return us true, when it will go to is valid function, it will return us false. Why? Because all the values in the visited array from 0 to 4th position has been updated as true. So this is what we have to check for, and we don't need these kind of subarray. Why? Because it will not allow us to count for all CB numbers, right? So how can we overcome this problem is, we will not generate the subarrays based on their position, but we will generate the subarrays based upon their length, right? So we will write two loops. One is of length and one is for position. So suppose 1 2 3 4 is our string. We will generate all subarrays based upon length starting from position 0. So in the first iteration, what will we do is, we will generate all the subarrays of length 1 starting from position 1. So the what will be the subarrays will be 1 2 3 4. In the later half, what will we do is, we will generate all the subarrays of length 2 starting from position 0. Then what will be generated, this is of length 1, this is of length 2, right? So what will be the subarrays, 1 2 2 3 3 4, right? These will be our subarrays, and so on, right? We will generate all the subarrays based upon the length. So I hope you understand what I am trying to do to solve this problem. So let's write it in a code. Okay, so let's make a variable int len and initialize it with 1, and now we will iterate till len is equals to s dot length, right? And we will also iterate it, right? So now another loop for position. So let's make it position, and starting from position 0, we want to generate all the subarrays till s of length minus len, right? Also this will become position plus plus. Okay, so now we have made two variables, one is length and another is position. So position will work for us as an starting index in the subarray, and for keeping the track of the end position, we will generate another variable called int end. And what will the value of end is, it will be position plus length. It will give us the index of our ending position in the subarrays. For now, for generating the substring, we will use our substring function as we have seen. So let's make string sub and make it for s dot sub str, and we will pass our to position comma len, right? Now if we will check for both functions, cb check and is valid, right? Now in our cb check function, and if the both values returned by the function cb check and is valid will be true, then we have to increment our count variable. And also for int say k is equals to 0, k equals to start, which is given by position, and k is less than end, right? Okay, we have to update our visited array as visited of k is equals to true. Right, so now let's write our CB check and is valid function. So first of all we will write our CB check function. Now for CB check function we have to pass um, our substring which is in sub. Now we will change its data type here only. We'll use S2LL function. Okay, and we will pass starting position which is given by pause, and end position given by end, right? So now let's write the function bool cb check, right? First we will have to accept an variable of long type sub, and then int start, and then int end, right? Okay, what are we going to do is, first of all we will check if the pass substring is equals to 0 or 1. As we have seen in the first point, if the passed substring is 0 or 1, it is not a CB number, so we will straight away return false, right? In the second point we have seen some numbers. Let's see those numbers, right? Yeah, so these are those numbers, right? If the pass substring will be any of these numbers, then it will be a CB number, right? So let's go there and generate an array, say x, and keep all the variable these. Now we will make a loop starting from index 0 till size of the x array. How will we make that? We will size of x and divide by size of int. Yeah, so now we will check if sub is equals to x of I, then we will return true, which means that the pass substring is a CB number if it is any of the numbers in our x array, right? In the third point, we have to check that if the pass substring is divisible by any of the number in a x array, then the given number or given substring is not in CB number, right? So let's make another loop from index I till, I will just copy and paste this. So let's just paste it here, right? So we will check if sub of I modulus, oh sorry, sub of I have written that wrong. Sub is divisible by x of I equals to 0, right? Then it should return false, right? Otherwise it shall return true, which means if it is not divisible by any of the numbers in this array, then it is an CB number, right? So we have written our CB check function successfully. Now it's turn to write our is valid function. So for writing is valid function, we will accept three variables. One will be bool type array visited, okay, another will be our start, and another will be our end position, right? So let's just pass them from main also. We will pass visited, we will accept position as start and end is end, right? So yeah, so what we will do is we will make a loop from int starting from index position, which will start, oh sorry, we have accepted as start, right? and till end. Now if any of the values in our visited array will be true, then it will return false, otherwise it will return true, right? And let's just do one more thing is left. We haven't outputted our answer, so let's see out answer. Oh, we have it is count, right? Yeah, so this is it. This was the whole program. I think the CB check spelling has been miswritten in above. So yeah, CBCHECK. What's the problem there? CBCHECK. And position and 10. So what's the problem? Why it is showing a red line? It shouldn't show so. Let me check. Yeah, so we have miswritten H there, so it should be CB check, right? Now all things are right, there are no problems. So let's save it and let me copy my code and let's check if the test cases pass or not. So this is our code editor. Let's paste the code here and check if it is right. Okay, so let's submit this and hope for the best. All test cases should pass now. Let's see what happens. Internet is working a little bit slow, that's why I think it's taking so much time, right? So it has been why, what the hell, it is giving us TLE. Oh, let's see, we have done it a blunder here. We should be doing it less than equals to, right? So let's submit it now. Yeah, so all the test cases has been passed, as we can see. So this is it about the problem today. If you need any kind of help regarding this problem or have any doubt, you can ask it out in the comment section. I will try to reply as soon as possible. Thanks for watching the video. Happy coding. Bye bye.